Greetings YouTube, Simon here and welcome to another Final Fantasy VIII Remastered video guide. Now quite a few folks have been asking me to just go through my general Guardian Force junction setup and how I've got my characters established, because it is surprising to a lot of people when they catch my videos, you know, see how low level we are and yet see how high our stats are. So I will just make that video for you guys. Obviously there's going to be a lot of menu talk here, so it's not going to be the most exciting of videos, but for those of you that are interested, hopefully this will be a help, since I do just take things for granted a lot of the time as I'm playing. I think we tend to do that, don't we? And a lot of people watching perhaps interested in various things they see on the screen, even though they're not sure how we got it. So hopefully this video will help clarify some of those issues. And as always, a huge thank you to everybody who supports the channel as a YouTube member or patron. So just going over the Guardian Forces, as a brief mention as well, I've just begun Disc 3, so this is really a mid-game exploration as to where our characters are right now. And also, just because everybody keeps asking, I do answer this multiple times, but in case you've only just seen this video and not the others, the reason why I'm playing a low level game, it's not any kind of challenge per se, it's more to do with the fact that you actually get to max your character stats out later to a higher degree, because once you've got all access to all of the abilities like strength bonus, speed bonus, HP bonus, you can make the most of those because they give you permanent stat boosts every time you level up, whereas if you get a whole bunch of levels before you even learn them, you can't make the most of them. But also it makes the general power between your characters and the enemies a lot greater by keeping your party members at low level, because that keeps enemies at low level. And then on Disc 4 we'll level up to 100. Right, so here at the start of Disc 3, these are the Guardian Forces that we've got. We've got 12 of the bunch so far. I don't yet have Odin. I've made a video explaining why I don't have Odin. I'll be saving him until Disc 4. I do have Tombury, who is a very nice Guardian Force to get, and of course all the other optional Guardian Forces. It is worth noting that only Quetzalcoatl, Shiva and Ifrit are the Guardian Forces that the game forces you to get. Every other Guardian Force in the game is actually optional. You can miss out on them completely if you never draw them or collect them. If you have missed any Guardian Forces though, and you're before Disc 4, then don't worry, you do have another opportunity to get any of the ones that you've missed in the final dungeon. Right, so let's move on to how I've junctioned my Guardian Forces to various characters, and this won't be the endgame setup, so just to clarify, this is where we are right now in Disc 3. I will be swapping things around as we get a little bit further on into the game, but for the time being, as you can see, I've got Brothers Carbuncle, Leviathan on Tombury on Zell. This is because you get a good range of stat junctions and various abilities to give to your individual party members here. Now, if Zell's not going to be in the party, I would generally, instead of Zell, be using Irvine or Quistis in his place. So he's more of a defense-oriented character. Next up, we have Squall, and Squall is by far the best character for strength because his physical attacks are just so strong. I've given him the Quetzalcoatl, Ifrit, Alexander and Cerberus Guardian Forces, and since he's pretty much always in the party, there's never a need to replace him with another party member. And finally, Selphie right now is using Shiva, Siren, Diablos and Pandemona. Now, Selphie is what I call the magic oriented setup. Her magic stat is quite high. Now, she's not got the highest magic stat in the game. That actually goes to Rinoa. Unfortunately, I can't use Rinoa right now because of the story restrictions that are on her. But if I'm not using Selphie, I would generally be using Rinoa in my magic setup using those Guardian Forces. In terms of the magics that are giving me these high stats, well, let's just start with Squall, shall we? You can see he's got Ultima, Meltdown, Meteor, Reflect, Haste and Aura equipped, which are very, very powerful magics, and the good thing is you can get a lot of these early on. Ultima, for example, is the strongest magic in the game in many ways, especially when junctioning to stats. There's just so many applications you can use with Ultima, and I've already done a video on how to get all these magics, but just briefly, you can get Ultima the best way by Disc 3, which is how I've got it. I've got it 100 on every character, well, except my third character I think's got 93. But you can just repeatedly come back to Shumi Village and use the draw point there for 5,000 gil, run around for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then it will repop and you can go and use it again. It's right at the entrance as you go into the main room there. So Ultima's a really nice magic. There's no excuse not to get that one because it doesn't take a whole lot of work to max out. Next up, as you can see, we've got Aura. Aura I just got by refining the Fury fragments that we collected recently from the Blue Dragons. Meltdown is a very powerful magic. It's actually one of the best magics in the game to junction to vitality. Obviously not as good as Ultima, because that is the best magic in the game, but look how close it comes. And since we can't have Ultima on every stat, we do have to make some compromises. And the good thing is that Meltdown is also very easy to come by. Simply card mod the common Gala card, refine that using the status magic refinement. So no, that refine to mystery fluid, then refine that using status magic refinement into 10 meltdowns. So 10 Gala cards will give you 100 meltdown. Not too shabby at all. You can also see we're using Reflect. For that, I just use the support magic refinement ability on dragon skins. Every time you do that, you'll get 20 Reflects. You'll max that out really easily. Meteor and Flares are very easy to come by as well once you're on disc 2. Just use the RNG force manipulation spawn that we've been talking about recently on the channel. Spawn the ruby dragons, level them up, and you can draw Flare and Meteor. Just make sure that you have one party member killed, so that will prevent the ruby dragon from using their breath ability, which is really quite nasty. And you can see I've got pretty much the same magics on Zell, and also pretty much the same things going on with Selfie also. If you need to boost your speed stat, then Haste is a fantastic magic to stick on there, and anything that heals or has some kind of curing effect is going to be great to stick on either Spirit or HP. Now, I believe as well there's a trophy for maxing out your HP, which you can do really easily, especially as you start to level up, which I'll be doing later. But let's be honest, look how high our health is. We could probably just grab that now as well. And we can use the various abilities we want to do that. Oh, so close. So close. Let's see if I can just replace Aura with Ultima or something along those lines. And that'll probably grab that. It's a bit of a bonus thing for this video. Yeah, Meteor will do just fine. There we go. Oh yeah, there we go. There's the trophy. I was thinking, where's the trophy? But there it is. Now, you might have noticed there's a couple of very high-level magics that are missing from my repertoire, and that's one of the downsides to doing a low-level game. There are two high-level magics that are very powerful for junctioning and just for casting that I can't get my hands on yet, not in any easy fashion. The first is Full Life, and outside of a couple of draw points that I think are one time only, there's no easy source of getting Full Life outside of Tombury King, and unfortunately he only has it to draw if he's at higher level, so of course I wasn't able to get that. And the other magic is Triple. Triple is something that a lot of people draw from Cerberus, the Guardian Force in Galbadir Garden, the optional one that you can fight, but unfortunately again he does require quite a high level party engaging him before you can actually draw that, and so I wasn't able to do that. But outside of those two, which we will be able to get later on, even on this very disc 3, I've been able to get pretty much all of the high level magics, which, as I say, has created this huge relative imbalance between my party and the enemies, far more so than if we were higher level. It's interesting, normally if you're doing a low level run in a Final Fantasy game, it's seen as a challenge because everything's going to be harder for you, but in Final Fantasy VIII the opposite is true. Due to how enemies level with you, it does mean that the game is easier, but also it means, as I say, that you can max out your stats a little bit more later on once you actually have those stat boosting abilities. Okie dokie then, folks. Well, I hope the video has been a help, especially to those of you that have just been skimming along with my walkthrough and weren't really up to date with where it was that I'd been junctioning everything, such as Guardian Forces and stuff. But if you've got any ideas how I can continue to further improve my characters at this point, I'm pretty happy where they are in terms of their power levels, but you know me, I'm always willing to do a little bit more. So yeah, if you have any ideas and how we can boost their power even further, then please do share those down in the comment section. One of the things I just love so much about Final Fantasy VIII is just how much choice you have in putting time and effort into the power of your characters and developing your party. There's like challenges where you can whiz through with no junctions and no magics and all of that good stuff that people do, and then you can literally utterly OP yourself so that the game is basically broken, which is pretty much the method that we've been going for on this particular playthrough. But hey, having played this game so much, I've just been having a lot of fun with it and it's just been a blast. So yeah, thanks for stopping by today, folks. I hope you all have a wonderful day and I'll see you in the next video. Also, if you can, maybe stop by at the next live stream when we're available and doing that, because we do have a good chat over there and it's a bit of a laugh, so it'd be great to have you with us. But yeah, that's it from me for now, guys. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.